10 years ago, what I would have told myself that I know now, love yourself, first of all. Ooh. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You're going to discover things about yourself that you would have never thought would have been possible for you. Like, believe in yourself. Be confident. Like more like a pep talk.
Yeah.
Because I had to learn what I'm saying right now, I guess you could say the hard way. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Sakira, and this is a nice little surprise, you guys, because we have a special guest. This is Ziggy. I'm going to let her talk about herself, but just know this is my girl. I've known Ziggy for years, and we're going to talk to you guys about some spiritual related things. We got our tea, you know what I'm saying? And we're about to go into some conversation topics that I think you guys will like. I wanted to switch it up on the channel, you guys, because I feel like, I just want to bring some more things to the collective. I want to start having people on so you guys can get different perspectives about different things and stuff like that. Because, one voice is good enough, but why not have two? You know what I'm saying? So, Ziggy, tell the people a little bit about yourself. Drop your socials. Where can they find you? Who are you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Ziggy. You guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at z.i.g.y. You can also follow my Instagram page for some fire rasa pasta, ziggy.eats_. Tap in with me. And basically, that's about it.
Period. Let me tell you guys, when she said that rasta pasta, she was not lying, okay? I've had this girl make me several plates of different things because she gets busy in the kitchen, and that's on period. Oh my God. Well, welcome, Ziggy. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, love.
And I'm so excited. So, today, I didn't tell you what we're going to be talking about. You know, I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit spontaneous.
I like that.
But I got 3 different, conversation starters that I feel like would be good for us to kind of talk about. How you feel about that?
That's fine.
Yeah. How you guys feel about that? Comment below if you're interested and down for the shenanigans. I got my trusty dusty. Oh my God. What is that? I've got my faithful and trusty phone here. Where I'm gonna be using my notes, you guys, because I'm a Virgo. I gotta stay on top of my game, and that's on period. But Ziggy, you ready for the first topic?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll let you go first, and I'll follow up with what I have to say and my feedback for the topic. But you can start it off. So the first topic for you or for us, is what was the most life-changing download or revelation that you've ever had in your life?
Wow. Okay, so that is deep. The most revelation, download?
A download, an insight, some moment of clarity, an aha moment, the light bulb flashing. Like, what was that like for you? What did that look like, sound like? How did the universe drop that for you?
Okay, so coming into myself, finding myself, I actually went to go visit my soul sister in Georgia.
Okay.
And as a child, I always said, I just want to move to Georgia for no apparent reason. That's all I just kept thinking and saying to myself. I want to move to Georgia. So, Kyra, as soon as I got off that bus, I smelled that air. I was like, I'm moving out here.
Oh my God.
It clicked like that, and literally, I don't even think I wasted any time. As we're in the Uber going to go visit her, I'm over here looking at houses.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
So your soul just knew,
yeah.
It was one of those moments, you didn't have to think about it. You didn't have to contemplate, go back and forth. You just kind of was like, this is it.
I made up my mind and I actually did it. And honestly, it was very much needed because it helped me grow into the person that I am right now. Obviously, I'm growing every single day. There's no finish to it, but I became more confident in myself, more sure of myself, what I like, what I don't like. And I think everybody actually needs to take that time to just discover themselves.
Okay. So self-discovery was the name of the game. I like that. Yeah. So to elaborate on that, right? What did that kind of feel like for your spirit? What did it feel like? Like a knowing? Did it feel like a burning sensation in your chest? What did that feel like for you on a spiritual level?
At the moment or while I'm doing it?
At the moment when you smelled the air and you was like, I gotta move here. When you felt that, what did, describe that for the audience? What did you really, embody in that moment physically or spiritually speaking?
I don't know if it's because I'm a fire sign, but it felt...
tell them your sign, by the way.
Big Leo vibes.
Big Leo,
okay.
Period.
Okay. But at that time, it was like a drive, like it was a burning sensation, like not like a hurting sensation, but more like I am eager to do this.
Like an excitement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's exactly what was done, what I did, and it just brought me so much peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I think for me, it was when I discovered like spirituality in and of itself. Because I grew up very religious, you know.
Yeah.
You guys don't know, but I grew up super religious, and I always just felt like as a kid, like there was more to life, more to God than what I was being taught in church. Nothing wrong with church. If you are a churchgoer, more power to you. Whatever works for you, works for you. But for me, my spirit was just like, there's more to life than this. It felt more like I was being put in a box when it came to God versus like being able to fully explore, you know, what I feel like God had in store for me. And so you remember that year that I started reading tarot?
Yes.
What was that, like 4 years ago, something like that?
Yes.
That was the year, actually, okay, boom. You remember Shanetta, the tarot reader?
Yes, you introduced me to her.
Yeah, so I was watching her a lot. She was my first ever tarot reader experience on YouTube online, right? And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like the fact that she's able to like tap in with my energy. She doesn't even know me, but she's telling me my life word for word. Like it was crazy to me.
That's a different type of feeling.
It's a different type of feeling. And then she was like, you know, you could read tarot too. Like she didn't say it directly to me. She said it in her video, but she was like, you could read tarot too. Like, you know, tap in with it. Get yourself a deck, even though they say you're supposed to be gifted your first deck. But she said she bought her own, you know, whatever. And for me, I think my most life-changing revelation was not just that I could read tarot, but it's almost like what that experience brought up for me, because then I began to study other spiritual related like dynamics and like principles and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's almost like that was the doorway. Like it may seem very like, oh, it's tarot, but tarot became so much more for me later on. And I think it was just like that awareness of like, there's more to God than church. That for me shook up the game, because like I was so programmed, you guys, like I'm not gonna lie, I was heavily programmed to think church was it. If you want to go to heaven, you go to church, you pay your tithes, you go home and you do it again next Sunday. You know what I mean? But when I realized, like, you know, you can go to church, that's cool, but it's not just about going to church. It's about how you connect with God. And then there's so many different ways to connect with God. And I started to realize like all of these different religions are kind of talking about the same God in a different light. It was a mind-blowing thing for me, spiritually speaking, to realize like there's so much more to this game. There's so much more to like what we have going on than what I've been exposed to. And I feel like that has opened up a whole different world for me. Like I see life so differently now. I had that burning desire in my chest to just explore God more in different ways. But again, like not in that religious kind of like program context, but more just like free-spirited wise, right? Like, you know me, I was even getting into the witchy vibes at one point. I still kind of do. But like, you know, I was like, what is this? Like, I need to know all the things. Like, to me, it just was important. I really resonate with spirituality. And just to know like that there's more to life than what I was taught,
Right.
that opened up like a whole different world for me on like a different level. So I was here for it. I was here for it. Like, I mean, mine was short and sweet. It wasn't really too extensive. Like, I just feel like that knowing that there's more to life than what I've been taught. And just like, not even with God, right? Like when you think about the fact that like the stuff we know now, we didn't know when we were 16. The stuff we know now, we didn't know when we were 10 or 12, right?
Right.
So just to realize like we're learning, we're growing, you're never going to know it all. Like that's another thing that I kind of realized, like, because I used to be hell bent on kind of like having all the answers or like making sure like everything was what it needed to be. And I'm like, you're still learning. Like you're never going to have all the answers in this now moment, because there's more to learn in the future. There's more to, you know, experience in life. There's more that's going to teach you, more lessons to come. Girl, the lessons are going to teach. I'm telling you, the lessons are going to teach. But that brings me to our next topic. This one's a little bit interesting, actually. I think you're going to like this. Being the spicy fire sign that you are. So the question is, what is the most important or like influential thing that you do to balance out the energy of your ego?
You see what I just did? Okay, so basically, I don't know how to describe it without getting too personal.
Okay.
But currently, you know, going through a lot. And I actually feel like I'm not practicing my spiritual habits as much as I would like to.
Okay.
Okay. But don't come for me in the comments.
Don't come for her.
But honestly, lately it's just literally breathing. Like
Ooh.
taking a step back. If I'm going through my emotions, I need a second. I need whatever time frame I need to just process what I'm going through so I don't act out in a negative way. Because honestly, you don't know what can happen as soon as you do that. You know, you run with your feelings and it could honestly mess up the entire thing that you got going on.
You ain't never lied, my love. I think that's wise. I think that's a gem for the people. Because a lot of people underestimate the importance of the breath. I read something one time and it was basically saying like the breath is the life force that God puts in us.
Yeah.
Because it goes in, it comes out, and like without it, what are we? We're dead. You know what I mean? So when you think about how important it is to breathe, it's not just for survival, it's also to calm. It's also to move through certain energies. It's like it's something that you can use in any given moment because nobody has to watch you breathe. You can do that incognito, right? And then at the same time, it does something super beneficial for you too, where it's like, let me take a step back, like you said, let me breathe through this energy, let me breathe through this situation and kind of calm myself down so that I'm not irrational, so that I'm not being impulsive or making certain decisions that I may regret later. Like we all had those moments in life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe if we would have breathed in those moments, things would have played out a little bit differently
It
for
would
us.
have.
You know
It definitely would have. But it's the fact of also like while you're breathing it in, you're like thinking about every step or whatever's going on and realizing, okay, what possible steps or choices can I make that will make a better outcome for me?
Absolutely.
So
that's wisdom right there, my love, period.
okay.
I know that people are excited for that one. I know I am because, listen, I advocate for breath work a lot. And I'm not going to lie, I don't breathe as much as I should. And I mean like intentionally. I'm always breathing. Obviously, that's how I'm alive. But when the going gets tough or when life starts to life, I don't always breathe as much as I feel like I should. But there are times where I have done it. Maybe I'm driving, I'm in traffic, somebody pissed me off.
Oh.
And I'm like, breathe, Sakara, breathe, take it in, take a breath, because right now you're going to a place that you don't need to go. You're, lowering that frequency. We need that to stay nice and high, taking that prana, that life force,
I get that.
But for me, if I was to respond to the same prompt, I would say similar, but a different technique. So what you just described is a way that you can regulate your nervous system. But recently I've been getting into EFT tapping.
Oh, I watched your video.
Oh, you did?
I
Look, she
watched
watched
your
the video. I love that. Thank you so much for the support. But I'll break it down for you guys because I haven't done like an actual video on EFT for YouTube, but it stands for the Energy Freedom Technique. And it literally does what it says. It frees up your energy. And when you're tapping on certain like chakra points or meridian points for the body that energy gets trapped in. And when you tap it, it helps to let it flow.
Yes.
And so that's more on like a spiritual level or an energy level, but on a scientific or biologic level biology level. There we go. It actually destimulates the nervous system. Like literally, like your nervous system will go from being haywire and unregulated to being calm and being more passive, and you'll feel more at ease within your physical body. And then the more you're able to obviously be calm, the more rational you could think, the more you're able to temper the ego, right? Because we all know when we get hot, we get hot. When things get to us, they get to us. I'm not saying like, we got to give into it, but we're human at the end of the day. So sometimes things are just going to feel the way that they feel, right? But I do think that nervous system regulation, whether you do breath work, whether you do EFT tapping, for me, I've also tried, have you heard of somatic shaking or somatic exercises?
No, maybe not in that exact term, but I probably know like what you're talking. Yeah,
I'm sure you've seen it because it's a popular thing that people do. But it's basically a shaking of the body to release the energy physically.
Yeah.
And I heard that animals. I've seen this in like certain documentaries, but animals actually in the wild, like let's say it's a gazelle and it just got chased by some type of predator, right? When it gets away and it's in a safe place and it's out of harm's way, it will go through a rigorous shaking process to literally release the trauma.
Oh.
And a lot of animals do that. It's only humans that don't. And that's why we're always traumatized and walking around with these heavy burdens on our shoulders. And then our bodies start to like kind of like go downhill because we're storing it inside, it's trapped. It has nowhere to go. And energy needs to move. You can literally feel the pain. You can literally feel the pain. And then don't let it sit there for years because then it turns into disease. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
My God. But yeah, I do think like, I want to piggyback off of that. This is not the third one, but just a question for you. Like, what is your take on the ego? How you feel about the ego?
The ego, like with everything, there's good and bad.
Of course.
So honestly, I feel like if you're not a person that's self-conscious of everything that you're doing, the ego can honestly destruct a lot of things. I just recently connected with a person that had a very negative ego with a lot of things, and I saw literally how his life went downhill. But enough of that. It's more so like there's a positive and a negative. So if you don't take the consideration time that you need to actually work on yourself, it could honestly be a negative trait about you. And then that's just presented towards a lot of things like people, your life, animals, it doesn't matter. But if you are working on your ego, I would say that's more of like your higher self. Like you're getting closer with your higher self, you're tapping in, you're the person who you're aspiring to be. So
I couldn't have said it better myself. The higher self is such a powerful energy to tap in with.
yes.
A lot of people, like for those of you who are watching, you're like, okay, the ego versus the higher self, what are we talking about here? Your ego is known as like your human nature, your lower nature, your more animalistic nature. If you're into chakras, that's like the lower three chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar. When you go into your higher nature, you start acting more from the heart, from the throat, from the third eye, from the crown, right? That more divine kind of energy. And they're basically two equal opposites. The earthly versus the spiritual, or the masculine versus the feminine, the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. So many different labels to describe the same energy, but the dynamic is not to dismiss or get rid of the ego. It's to not have the ego run and govern your life and take charge of you, because a lot of times we give into our egos and we just let it take the wheel. We need to be giving it to God, but we giving it to the ego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, connecting with your higher self is definitely a powerful thing to do. It is like the ideal version of you. It's who you aspire to be, you know, and the more you embody that energy, the closer you get to it in your physical life, you know? But I have my last one for you.
Okay.
Which is kind of like, it's not piggybacking off of what you just said, but it's like a little relevant. But I want to say to you, right, or ask you, what's something you, as the version of yourself that you are now, wish you could tell your 20-year-old self?
20? My gosh.
We had to go back a little bit because I'm like, you know, again, there were things that we didn't know at 20. There were things we didn't know at 10 that we now know. So what's something or some things you wish you could share with that version of yourself and just put her onto some game, or like drop the tea for her, give her the gems?
I feel like me currently right now, if I was looking at my 20-year-old self, I would give her a book or a little CD, because I don't really like to read that much. But I would give her like a CD to watch or something, and I'd be like, watch this, listen to this, make sure you take everything down, because it would have saved me so much. Also, 1920, you remember, that's honestly when I actually started getting into spirituality.
It sure is. It sure is.
So at first, oh my gosh, this is long for me, but I'm gonna summarize it.
Okay.
So
Take us down memory lane, mama.
when I first started getting into spirituality, it was based off the fear of death. We watched that video.
Yes.
So it definitely opened up to my mind to the possibilities, literally everything. And I was eager about everything. I was like living, eating, breathing on a whole bunch of topics. And I felt if I was 24, well, I'm 24 now. So me currently, I would just be like, don't stress it so much. Take your time day by day. It's not something that you could literally take down and be like, okay, I know everything tomorrow.
Literally.
So
literally,
I would tell myself, tap into your feelings. It's okay to feel how you feel. Take the time that you need and figure out exactly what you need. And take it day by day. I'm honestly that type of person. I take everything day by day, no matter how much my ADHD wants to be like, okay, let's do this. I want to do this, because it gets scrambled for me. But honestly, just take it day by day. That's the biggest point I'm going to have to stress from my 20-year-old self.
Is that something you feel like you're embodying more now, like as the version of yourself in this like current present version of Ziggy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because even though that there's so many unanswered questions about myself, what I want to do in my life, and etc., I'm literally taking it day by day. I mean,
listen, day by day is the mantra of the day, because tomorrow's not even promised. And all we ever have is the now,
Mhm.
right? So if you are taking it day by day, I feel like that's, first of all, a wise thing to do, because you don't really have a choice, right? The most we can do is worry about tomorrow, but we can't do anything about it until it comes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of us spend our days worrying about tomorrow when we should be focused on what we could do and what we can control and handle today.
Literally, I'm like, in a rush for what? Like, calm down, relax.
Calm down.
But it would be definitely take it day by day. Just, you know, relax. Don't be so eager to live your life, because honestly, that's what I'm focusing on right now. Just living my life, enjoying what is outside, enjoying what I want to do, what I'm feeling, everything. Just breathe. But how about you?
Just breathe. Okay, for me, this one gets a little personal, and I'm not going to go into details, but you know the details. You've been around with me. I would tell my 20-year-old self, because I'm older, right? I'm 30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a decade for me. 10 years ago, what I would have told myself that I know now: love yourself, first of all.
Ooh.
You are beautiful. You are amazing. You're going to discover things about yourself that you would have never thought would have been possible for you. Like,
Big one.
believe in yourself, be confident, you know, like more like a pep talk.
Yeah.
Because I had to learn what I'm saying right now, I guess you could say, the hard way. It took a lot of different experiences to teach me my worth, to teach me what I don't want to settle for, to teach me what I don't want to put up with or tolerate. And just in different areas of life, whether it's love and romance, whether it's a job situation, whether it's even family situations, you know. Also, I would tell my 20-year-old self, like, manage your money. That part. Be good with money. You know what I mean? Learn financial literacy. Educate yourself when it comes to money, because if you learn how money works, you get a lot more of it that way, right? That's another thing that I had to learn through time, instead of like somebody dropping that gem for me, you know? But I think the last thing that I would tell my 20-year-old self is almost like what you said: don't worry about tomorrow and focus on what you have right now. Make wise decisions, master the ego, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all of the things that we kind of talked about are things I would drop for my 20-year-old self, because I feel like she didn't know those things. And then I would give her a hug, because she needed one. She needed one. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a crazy time, Ziggy.
Oh my goodness.
That was a crazy time. But I think that you know, spiritually speaking, our 20-year-old selves are listening to us right now. And they may not know, like, we're having this conversation, but they can feel something, like maybe there's a little shift, or maybe this is the reason why, you know, your 20-year-old self, quantum speaking, right? Like, was like, let me learn about some things. I feel my future self talking to me, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, just some food for thought for you guys. Maybe write a letter to your old self, your childhood self, your younger self, and give them some TLC, because sometimes, you guys, that's part of the trauma that we carry with ourselves too. Like, you know, feeling like we should have known better. You can only do what you know in the moment. You can't do anything before that or beyond that, until you learn better. That's when you begin to do better. So, you know, give yourself that grace and that compassion. Show yourself that love. But
wait, I'm sorry. You made amazing points.
thank
you. Amazing points, because honestly, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would honestly do the same thing.
I feel like there's a 20-year-old version of everybody who can relate to at least some of the things that were said.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe not every single one. Everybody's journey was different.
Yeah.
But at least some of them. Maybe you just needed to hug your 20-year-old self. Maybe your 20-year-old self didn't get enough hugs, right? But love is a real thing. It's powerful. It changes energies. It shifts dynamics. So give yourself that love. Give it to you now, but give it to your younger self too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. One more question, actually, before I finish. I just thought about this one, but what is your favorite self-love or self-care ritual that you like to do?
Okay, my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot. So it would honestly have to be taking baths.
Ooh, yes, I know that for you.
Yeah.
I know that for you. Yes.
Like, I have a whole setup.
Literally.
I be doing my crystals, my stones all around.
Dropping your things in the
my
water.
Little herbs.
Uh-huh.
I be having my little wine. When I used to smoke, I mean, now I don't really smoke too much, but when I used to smoke, I had my blunt right there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I would play Sims. I do
In
not
the
recommend.
tub?
I do not recommend it.
I'm like, I mean, listen, I love a game, but you know what I mean? And the tub is a little, I don't know.
Like, I play Sims to take time and like basically visualize my life and create it virtually in a game. So that's why I play Sims. I love it. But
it's like imagination. You get to really have whatever you want in that game.
Whatever I want.
Yeah. I feel that.
Sometimes, even though I don't really like to, I read a book, more of like a knowledge book. Those are interesting.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I just catch up on whatever series that I'm watching. Sometimes silence.
Ooh,
Silence.
that's
I play a mantra.
big one. Oh,
Yeah.
you play mantra?
Of course.
Period, mama.
Of course. I just need
like
to be
it.
like resetting myself. I don't know. Lately, it's like the bathroom. That's where evolution happens for me.
It's a very spiritual place.
Yeah.
That's where you cleanse. If you think about it, like you cleanse the physical body and you're, in a sense, kind of cleansing your soul, cleansing your energy. So I could see where that's like a really big place of transformation for you. Like,
yeah. Play no games.
No games.
Hygiene.
Yes.
Spiritual hygiene. Yeah. And then lately, even though I'm trying to get back into my spiritual hobbies, I've been just like waking up, and it's not meditation, but it's more of like a reset. So I grab my selenite and I just cleanse my aura. I set the tone how I want for the day, and I put it back in the sunlight so it could recharge.
I like that.
Yeah.
Take it in, period.
You?
I'll end with this because for mine, I don't have as many as you. I like baths, you guys, but I am a germaphobe, so I don't really do bathtubs like that unless it's like I gotta set it up. I gotta get literally like a tub liner, like the plastic ones on Amazon. Like there's something about a drain that really scares me, but I'm gonna work on that. That's a limiting belief. But I would say as of recently, my favorite self-love thing to do is to, and I'm gonna maybe try to find more healthier alternatives because the ones that I'm buying are not obviously great as far as like the chemicals and stuff in them, but the smell goods. I love a perfume. I love a body spray. I love a body oil. I love a lotion. Anything that smells like something I would love. I'm putting it on me and I'm walking around like that all day.
It carries confidence.
It does. It's something about, it's one thing to look good, but when you smell good, it's like, are you kidding me? For me, you guys, like I feel like my best self when I'm dressed up, yes. But even if I'm not dressed up, as long as my hair, nails, feet are done and I smell good, I can have on sweatpants. I'm gonna feel like that. I'm gonna feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Let them know.
So for me, it's really just like pouring into myself, beauty wise. Like to me, smell goods are a beauty ritual. I've been getting more into beauty rituals and stuff. But on a spiritual note, like you do mantras, you play them, but I say them. Sometimes I chant mantras in like Sanskrit, which is like that ancient Indian language.
I don't think I know about that.
Yeah, I'll put you on. I got you.
Okay.
But basically, like mantras kind of started from what I understand, or not started, but like that culture has practiced mantras for a while, like ancient times.
I believe it.
And so there's certain phrases that they have that if you repeat it a certain amount of times, you embody that energy and it does something crazy for you. But I also do mantras in English, right? Like when I do my EFT tapping, I'm always doing affirmations with every point that I tap. Just because I feel like you're able to take it in once you're calming down your nervous system, it flows a lot more for you.
Right.
You know, and I don't know, I think I was telling you on the phone, we were talking on the phone, but there was a point in time recently where I was like really disciplined with like tapping and affirmations and all that stuff as an act of self-care and self-love. And I started to see like my whole reality shift, like a whole paradigm change right before my eyes. Like things were happening, you guys, that I'm not going to disclose on this channel, but I was just like, whoa, what is going on right now? Like crazy things.
Because once you take that time to better yourself and your environment and basically visualizing, manifesting how you want your life to be, it works out eventually. Like the energy does switch and it changes. So,
it's about being consistent, like you said, because some people want to do it like once, twice, 3 times. And if they don't see, you know, that change that they're looking for, the results that they're looking for, they're like, oh, this doesn't work. And they give up on it. But consistency is key, you guys, even with your, you know, your cleansing rituals with your crystals.
Yeah.
Maybe day 1, you won't feel the difference. Maybe day 5, you won't, but maybe on day 6, you will. And it takes for you to continue to do those things for you to really feel the results of, you know, what it is that you're putting into practice.
Consistency is key.
It is the key. Oh my God, you can't make it up. But Ziggy, how are you feeling?
I am so zen right now.
You're so zen. I love that for you.
Zen
you. Ziggy, like.
I see that. Yes.
Period. No, I feel the vibes too. I really want to thank you for showing up and like, you know, conversing with me in front of the people because I feel like this was a good conversation.
It was.
And I love you so much. You're amazing.
You so much. Thank you.
Of course. So you guys, we're wrapping this up. This is what we have for you. If you guys want to see Ziggy on her platforms. I will have all of her socials linked in the description for you. Show her some love, drop some follows on her page, on her YouTube, all that good stuff. And also, if you guys are in the New York City area, Ziggy Eats is back up and running.
Yes, it is.
So book them up, because listen, them plates is hot and they ready to go. That's on
pasta, baby.
Period. And you still making crepes? I had to ask her, you guys, you're still making crepes?
For you.
For me? All right, so don't ask about the crepes. Don't ask about the crepes. But ask about the rasta pasta, you're going to get it.
Yes.
Oh my God, you guys, we love you. We're sending you guys all the good vibes, all of that. And until next time, peace out.
Bye.